day.
And number one whenever and wherever you want to talk sports.
Now it's time for Monty in the Morning.
Hey, yo, man. Happy Monday, July 26, 2021. It is The Monty Show. Live on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast, just search The Monty Show, M-O-N-T-Y, The Monty Show. And, of course, you know by now, well, because everybody is subscribed, that we are going to be giving away this Xbox Series S, which will happen when we get to 1,500 subscribers, which should happen today or tomorrow, as we're at like 1,470.
Get it done.
Well, maybe if you weren't here, like, you know, pissing everybody off.
I don't know what you mean.
I don't know why we started talking each
I don't know either.
But just subscribe, take a photo, tag us on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok, which, by the way, the old Talkadoc has been lit. The Monty Show, M-O-N-T-Y, The Monty Show on Insta, Twitter, or TikTok. You can find Jake at SLC Supercars. A lot of work to get to today. Why don't we start this here program with some NBA free agency? Because it has been a very, very busy weekend in the rumor mill. So much so that they were worried about the bearings as it began to smoke and spin all weekend long, which is to say there were a lot of rumors around the LA Lakers and not many other clubs, including your Utah Jazz. So here's the question that I have. What do you do if you're the LA Lakers? And what are you planning to do if you're the Utah Jazz? Because standing pat is probably not an option for the Utah Jazz at this minute. And when you hear, Jake, things like the LA Lakers are looking to trade Kyle Kuzma for every other all-star possible, it does give you a little hesitation and, you ready? Trepidation.
Whoa.
If you are a fan of one of the other mid-tier teams in the Western Conference, because as we've been talking about, it seems like since the season ended, the Lakers are not going to stand pat. They're going to get better.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time. The Lakers are one of the most aggressive teams in the offseason, and for good reason. You know, they're not far from a championship, and a lot of people would tell you that, you know, if you take the injuries out of it, there's someone who's going to play for a title this past season. But, you know, with all things being equal, they did have a lot of injuries, and they didn't really have a great way to backfill those injuries. And I think that one of the major areas that the Lakers are continuing to try to figure out, you know, where to go or what to do about is the point guard position. You know, Schroeder was a great solution for them for a couple of months in the regular season, and then the inconsistencies came and the hesitations and the unwillingness to shoot the ball when he got a look. So now he's probably not going to be here. And I look at what the Lakers are trying to do, and yeah, you start hearing rumors about Kyle Kuzma. You hear some rumors about, you know, Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan having a reunion in L.A. You know, you even have heard rumors about Mike Conley. You know, the Lakers have been in the rumor mill about Mike as well. So there's a lot of different options. But yeah, I think if you're the Utah Jazz and you're looking at this, you're saying, dude, like this coming season, you know, the Lakers are definitely going to be better. You know, and you look up and down the rest of the Western Conference and you start to say, okay, a lot of this conference is going to be a lot better than they were this past season. So what exactly are we going to do? You know, and then this takes us down the age-old path of cap space and the lack of flexibility that they have. So for the Utah Jazz, I think at the end of the day, you have to, if I'm them, I'm playing offense. I'm being as aggressive as I can with the things that I have to work with. So, again, that's going to be Bogey and a couple other trade assets that we've gone over 100 times on this show. And you got to do the best you can and hope that the Lakers don't get, you know, Kyle Lowry or some major Kyle Kuzma deal done that's like a 3-teamer or something. That's what you're hoping for. But at the end of the day, what the Lakers do is out of your control, and what you do is in your control, and I think that's the mindset they have to have.
Yeah, and I think patience is very difficult to leverage at this time of the year. I mean, you're coming into you know, a week that likely is going to determine the entire offseason for just about every club in the NBA, and you know, specifically talking about the Lakers and really looking at who they are and what they are. I think one of the things that you can say about the Lakers, whether it's Rob Pelinka or Jeannie Buss or the two combined, is that they are a very realistic, pragmatic organization. They know who they are, and that's the LA Lakers. They know who they should be and who they want to be, and that's an NBA champion every year. And they know right now that they're not good enough to get there. It's that attitude, it's that belief, it's that mentality that I think so many teams around the NBA lack, and that would include the Utah Jazz, which is why I'm a little surprised that we have not heard, hey, who's gonna round out the front office? Who's going to fill that last spot? Everybody is thinking that guys like Shane Battier certainly are in the mix, but I don't think we really know. Maybe they're not going to hire another front office voice, which would be contradictory to everything that we've heard the Jazz are working on, but who knows? I think this is going to be one of the most important off seasons in the last 10 years for the Utah Jazz. If the Clippers, who over the weekend, by the way, the big news, Jake broke that Kawhi Leonard, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, is intent on signing an extension with the LA Clippers this summer.
Yeah.
He wants to be in LA. Does he want to be there with Paul George, who's another guy that everybody's talking about? So you have the LA teams. I think there's no doubt the Golden State Warriors have been one of the most active teams in the rumor mill leading up to this past weekend. And it all just keeps on spinning. Major shakeup in the Suns front office. You have this big question about Chris Paul and his $44 million option. All of these teams are building and working towards the future. But that's why I say it's a little scary that the Utah Jazz have been relatively silent so far.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that the Jazz are in a position where they're they don't have all this flexibility, and so I think if you are the Jazz, you kind of have to figure out, you have to pick your poison almost. So what I mean by that is, you have the camp of Jazz Nation who are like, hey, we should re-sign Mike Conley. We should re-sign Mike Conley. We'll run it back, and this time he won't get hurt, which I disagree with, but you have that sect of the fan base and I'm sure of the front office. Then you've got the sect of people who say, hey, you don't have a lot of cap flexibility. Re-signing Mike Conley is not going to be a pragmatic decision. It's not going to be what's going to suit your organization best moving forward. So we need to let Mike go, but then we also need to look at the rest of the roster and see what kind of trade or signing we can make. And so I think if you're the Jazz, you have to decide which path you want to go. And either way, I think this offseason is not going to be riddled with move after move after move. I think the Jazz are in a position where if they're going to make a move, it's going to be to trade someone like Bogdanovich or even Ingles and not re-sign Mike. And then from that point, you're going to re-sign some lower-end players or sign some lower-end players, just some small stuff. Whereas with the Lakers or the Knicks or any of these major contenders, you're going to see a lot of moves happen. The Lakers, I think, only have right now 3 guys on their roster who are signed and locked and loaded for next season. So they got a whole roster to fill out. So yeah, if you're the Utah Jazz, you have to be smart here. You have to not try to say, okay, the Lakers are doing this, that means we got to do that. You just got to look at the X's and O's and say, man, this is our situation. This is what we feel we should do, and go from there. I mean, I really don't know what else there is for the Jazz to do at this point. There's not a lot of options.
Yeah, and it's money. That's really what it comes down to. So some of the rumors, I really want to get into this Lakers stuff because I think it is what's going to define and shape the Western Conference. We've told you, or at least I have for 2 years, that I'm not a believer in Kyle Kuzma. I still maintain that they should have traded Kuzma instead of Brandon Ingram. But, hindsight being 2020, now the Lakers are in a position to trade Kyle Kuzma. And my question is, where and what do you do with him? Because I am not enamored with a straight-up Kuzma-Buddy Hield deal where Kuzma winds up in Sacramento and Buddy Hield winds up with the Lakers. I just don't think that's enough, especially knowing that you have a guy like DeMar DeRozan, a guy like Kyle Lowry, who have talked about wanting to reunite in Los Angeles for the Lakers. I just don't see that there's a whole lot of value, Jake, in trading Kuzma to the Kings when you can hold out for a sign and trade.
Yeah, I mean, you can hold out for a sign and trade. The plus side to the Buddy Hield acquisition would be that gives LeBron a true knockdown like unquestioned shot maker from three. And I think on LeBron James led teams, he needs that. I mean, you look at even before he started to slow down a bit here in his career. I mean, in his prime even, the only reason he won that championship was because of Ray Allen knocking that shot down in the corner. You think about the J.R. Smiths of the world. You think about all the guys that he had on those Cleveland Cavalier teams that could really make shots. Kevin Love, getting that spacing on the floor really allows LeBron to operate, and that's what I really like about the Buddy Hield opportunity, in terms of making a trade within your conference to a team that you're going to see a lot. That's something that, with Kyle, I don't really worry about too much. Kyle Kuzma believes that he's on Jason Tatum's level, and I don't even think he's in Jason Tatum's atmosphere. I don't think he's anywhere near Jason Tatum.
That was a little surprising he said that.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the most foolish things that I think I've ever heard Kyle Kuzma say. Now, I give him a lot of credit for believing. I give him a lot of credit for thinking that he's, essentially the best, because Jason Tatum is one of the best. I don't think we can deny that. But at the end of the day, I think the question you have to ask is not who the better player is, right? Because I think we can all agree DeMar DeRozan is probably a better all-around player, where Buddy is probably a better shooter. The question needs to be, okay, what do we need to put around LeBron James and Anthony Davis to take us to a championship? What does that formula look like? And I think that Buddy Hield is a player who could really do some really productive things for the Los Angeles Lakers.
See, and I just think he's a fabulous shooter. Buddy Hield is arguably one of the best shooters in the NBA. That's about it. And to me, I don't see a lot of value in his defense. Outside of the three-point shot, I don't see a lot of value in his all-around game. And I think if you're going to give up a young asset like Kyle Kuzma, and you have a chance at guys like Spencer Dinwiddie, who has said he wants to be a Laker, I would hang on as long as you can and see what the market sets for those guys in value.
Yeah.
Because the Lakers have an advantage that most teams don't, and that is that guys like Dinwiddie and Lowry and DeMar DeRozan are willing to take less to become a Laker than they would to become a Knick, to become a member of any other franchise. So the Lakers here, I think time and patience is on the Lakers' side. If I'm the LA Lakers, I'm taking my time. I'm hanging on to Kyle Kuzma. They're also talking about Cantavius Caldwell-Pope. I think you have to be very careful with what you do with KCP because of his relationship with LeBron James. But overall, I think you have to have some confidence here that the Lakers are going to do what they got to do to get back to the top of the West.
Well, they always do. I mean, that's what the Lakers are known for, and I think that the two teams in the West that I always fear in the offseason are the Warriors and the Lakers. The Warriors and the Lakers always find a way to make things happen that essentially take them straight to the top. And again, this conversation that we're having right now, it all needs to be underlined and double asterisked and circled with if they can stay healthy, because again, LeBron and Anthony Davis, LeBron's been one of the most durable players throughout his entire career. Anthony Davis is the guy that I worry about. LeBron, to me, this is the first time he's going to get this much rest. I feel like he's going to be fine. But Anthony Davis is the guy that I worry about. He needs to stay healthy.
Yeah, and it's one of the reasons that, like, if you're a Phoenix Suns fan, I think Devin Booker going to the Olympics is not ideal. I mean, I understand it. But demeanor-wise and, especially with the way that team is playing, it's going to be a long road for them to climb back to get to a gold medal game. I think this offseason is critical for the Suns.
Yeah.
I mean, this situation with Chris Paul, now that Jeff Bauer is out of the front office, I mean, it's going to be fascinating to see where this Phoenix Suns team goes and how they reload, because they're at a point now where if you backslide and you become a bottom five team in the West, I mean, that's going to be awfully difficult for a lot of Suns fans to take.
Well, and it expedites Devin Booker's departure, without a doubt. I mean, you can't be a bottom five team now.
I think Chris Paul expedites
Well, he does.
Devin Booker's departure.
But let's say that Chris Paul signs with the Lakers because they've been in the Chris Paul rumor mill as well. And as you can tell with what we're talking about here, the Lakers have been basically in every rumor mill. But that's kind of the point for the Lakers. But anyway, what I'm getting at here is that, let's say that Chris Paul leaves, they re-sign a different point guard, or I keep saying re-sign, they sign a different point guard. They find a solution for that, and all of a sudden you're kind of a mid-tier team instead of a 1 or a 2 seed. I think that for Devin Booker, that's just tough. And yes, I do think, not that we need to have this conversation today, but Devin Booker has to continue to get better as well. I think that there's a lot left on the table for him, and we saw that in the NBA Finals. So we'll see. I don't know. I think, again, for teams like the Jazz and the Suns, it's very much about what does this one player do, and based on that, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. So if they sign, if Mike Conley comes back to the Jazz, they're not trading Bogey. If Chris Paul leaves the Suns and goes to the Lakers, the Suns are going to get active. That's just what it is. That's how business is done.
When you have a little more than $44 million to play with. And that's why I think this summer is so critical for the Suns. They have a bunch of young guys they're paying.
Yeah.
You're still not paying a huge deal for Devin Booker. I mean, Chris Paul is the guy that you invested heavy money in. And if he opts out, you're going to have a lot more flexibility. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all shakes out. And I'm a little surprised we have not gotten more Utah Jazz news. I mean, every other major team in the West, there's been at least rumors about, and the Jazz have been quiet. I mean, the Mavericks,
you would have thought that the Jazz, I wasn't expecting the Jazz to do anything roster-wise yet, but I definitely was expecting them to announce that final front office hire. Like, hey, we're bringing in this guy or that guy. And then from there, okay, now it's another couple of weeks. You're making moves, and free agency's here, and draft is here, and all that good stuff. But they haven't done that. And to your point, you don't want to go into the draft. You can't hire somebody and then the draft is 3 days later. I mean, that can't happen. You gotta hire somebody and have time to come up with a draft plan and scout and do all that stuff. So time is kind of the essence here.
Well, I think it'll be fascinating. By the way, real quick.
Yeah.
Do you like 3-on-3 basketball in the Olympics?
Yes.
So many people are hating on this, and I don't really understand why people are hating on it. I actually think it's really enjoyable. I think it is one of the things I think it does is it makes the women's game more watchable.
Way more exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a struggle for a lot of people to watch women's basketball.
Yeah.
And you're seeing this 3-on-3 tournament, and I think it's fabulous. I really think it's a good innovation. Like skateboarding. A lot of people were pissed skateboarding was going to be in the Olympics. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
Now, I'm bummed, obviously, that Nyjah didn't win. But I thought skateboarding was really good. And, I love what they're doing with the Olympics. Now, should they be playing them? I don't know.
Well, that's a different conversation.
Yeah, but I think some of the innovations they've made in the Olympics have been really good, and I actually have enjoyed the games quite a bit the first weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think the innovation is the right word. I mean, 3-on-3 basketball, skateboarding, like all this stuff that they're adding, I think is great. I think they're keeping up with the times. I mean, we're past the hey, we're just gonna run track and field and do some pole vaulting days. Like now we're at like, hey,
we're just gonna run some pole vault out there in prime time.
We're past that now. I mean, we gotta do a lot more than that. And I think that by introducing skateboarding and 3-on-3 basketball, and like we were watching ping pong yesterday, dude, or I'm sorry, table tennis. The level of intensity in table tennis in the Olympics is borderline comedic. Like the it's just so funny how seriously they take it. And I just think that those kind of sports that you don't get to see on TV too often are what make the Olympics a lot of fun for me anyway.
Yeah, somebody needs to explain to me the whole serving and ping pong thing.
Yeah,
because I don't get it. What's up? A lot of people in this morning already. Tanner Plummer, good morning to you. Eugene 12 says, "What's good, y'all? Everything's good, man." Mitchell Harding, hey, what's up, Mitchell? Good to see you. Gabe Ledley, morning, my dudes. Appreciate you both. Appreciate you as well. Appreciate everybody that's being here, especially Gabe. Mitchell Harding says, if the Jazz used Bogey properly and maximized his ability, maybe you wouldn't have to trade him, but they don't. Well, the problem is that he's one of the few guys on this club that has real value in the open market. So to me, it's not using him properly. I just don't know how if you try. I mean, watching Joe Ingles in the Olympics yesterday, or I get made this weekend, maybe it was the day before. He just looks slow to me now. Like, it is weird.
It just happens.
Yeah, it just like there's a switch.
It just happens.
And it's like Joe Ingles blew a piston and he's down to like 2 cylinders or something.
Yeah.
Like, homeboy is slow right now.
Yeah.
And to me, I think Bojan Bogdanovic arguably has your most value. He's got a reasonable contract. The other guys you're talking about dealing, guys like Derek Favors. Derek Favors is guaranteed $19 million the next 2 years.
And what value does he really bring? I mean, and this is
not a lot.
This is one of those Dennis Lindsey signings where I'm just like, what? You signed him off nostalgia, basically. Like, oh, it's Derek. Like, he's great for the locker room, and
he was great in the regular season when you were playing a different style of basketball.
But I really think that, and I agree with that. But I really think at some point we've got to stop it as like the Jazz as an organization and fans and everybody. We got to stop saying, man, this guy was a great regular season player. Who gives a damn if you're a great regular season player? At some point, like, is this Jazz team? This Jazz team is not the Charlotte Hornets anymore. This Jazz team is not the Orlando Magic anymore. This Jazz team is trying to win a championship. And so I just simply say to that, dude, stop re-signing old players who are one-dimensional. You have a roster full of those guys.
Well, but I also think this goes back to, is this the same old Jazz team? I mean, is this the same organization with a new owner that lives in the past and is nostalgic? And
he hasn't shown us he's not yet. He hasn't shown us anything yet. I mean, he hasn't done a damn thing yet. Outside of the Dennis Lindsey thing, there's been nothing. We haven't seen any roster moves. We haven't seen the only thing that I've seen that I've really liked is what's his name, Elijah Hughes working out with Brickley. That's the only thing this offseason I have really seen.
I think Elijah Hughes is going to be critical for this team. A guy like Elijah Hughes, I mean, Mione being in the Olympics for Nigeria, obviously those are big developmental minutes. But, I mean, Elijah Hughes is a guy that I would count on to be a 20-minute-a-guy night this coming season. You need that. That has to happen.
Yeah.
And look at that. Eugene 12. Hopefully Elijah Hughes gets into the rotation this season. Absolutely right. James Knight says, do you guys think DeMar DeRozan will be okay with a vastly different role at the Lakers? I don't think it's vastly different. I think DeMar DeRozan, if DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry wind up with the Lakers, or let's just say even DeMar DeRozan winds up with the Lakers, he becomes a pivotal offensive piece for them.
Well, and DeMar's always been a second to the guy for the most part. I mean, a lot of times with these Spurs teams, like, yes, he is the big name, but he's not the one who's primarily on the ball. He's a scoring option. And Dejounte Murray has been the one bringing the ball up, running the offense, doing all that stuff. So when I look at DeMar and the Lakers' offense, I simply say, hey, this guy's going to run the 2 or the 3, probably the 3, and LeBron will be at the 2 with AD at the 4. That's a lot of different ways you can score the basketball.
Well, and DeMar's an elite mid-range player. We've seen him really develop that.
And he's unselfish, too, which I really like for the Lakers.
Yeah, and I think everybody, including the Lakers, needs more three-point shooting. I mean, that has to be a priority when you play the way the Lakers play, and you're going to prioritize LeBron for this coming season and one more. You got to have elite three-point shooting, which makes you nervous about trading a guy like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, because I still maintain he's been your best three-point shooter. He's the reason you won a championship 2 years ago. So I think you have to really watch that. Dante May says, I like that Jake's headphones came with a head warmer.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either. Nathan Jennings says, morning, dudes. Could it be because no one is actually interested in Bojan or Joe since that's who we've been shopping? Well,
I don't know that they've been shopping him, though. I can't definitively say that.
Oh, I think they absolutely have been shopping Bojan Bogdanovic. I don't think they're going to trade Joe Ingles. I really don't. I think when you look at this team, the 2 guys that they're going to trade are Jordan Clarkson and Bojan Bogdanovic. I think those are the 2 guys that they know bring them value, and I think the formula is in place to be an average team this coming year. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but anytime you have Donovan Mitchell in the lineup, you have a real good chance to win the game. The question is, how do you retool this team quickly to stay at the top of the West? There's only value in really 2 guys, and that's Bojan Bogdanovic and Jordan Clarkson. And we've heard their names consistently. I have no doubt everybody that I have talked to about the Jazz have said that they are shopping Bojan Bogdanovic, and teams have asked about Jordan Clarkson. And when you are in the situation that the Jazz are in, a lot of times it's like, hey, you want to take Bojan Bogdanovic? Let's make a deal. Sure, well, you're going to have to give me Jordan Clarkson in order for me to help you by taking Bojan Bogdanovic.
Yeah.
And I think those are the kind of deals that get done. And I think that's how you wind up moving a guy like Derek Favors, right? Like, I mean, when you have 2 years and that's guaranteed money, man, you're going to have to find somebody that's willing to trade for him and buy him out.
Yeah.
And that's a very difficult task. Can Evan Fournier be our backup point guard, or should we put Elijah Hughes in that spot?
I would put Elijah Hughes in that spot just simply because this coming year you're not going to be a championship contender.
I love how much Twitter got on the Evan Fournier bandwagon over the weekend. Like, come on, man. It's one game. It's one game.
And they had to miss for you to win. So just chill out.
This USA basketball panic, it's justified. They've played terrible basketball. It is justified.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're seeing a clear difference in play. I mean, you're talking about the LeBron and Kobe team coming out here, eating chicken nuggets before the game and then coming out and winning by 50, And then in this team, comes out and can't barely beat a France team. Not like they can't. They're struggling. They're scoring 76 points. I mean, come on, dude.
What I'm telling you is this team. Anytime they lace up the shoes. Well, and in KD's point, anytime he tightens that Velcro strap on his shoe, this is the best team in the world. By far, it ain't close. And when you miss free throws and you're up 7 with 6 minutes to go and you lose by 7, that tells you melted down. With all due respect, and I get it, he's the Stifle Tower and Rudy. The U.S. lost this game. France is not better than the U.S. They're not. And, Evan Fournier, stop.
How did Evan Fournier look, with Boston?
Stop.
How'd that work out for you?
Dario George says, good afternoon from Croatia. What is today's topic? Well, it's in the description. We're talking NBA. Trade Favors and give Udoka his minutes. Well, you would love to see that.
But see, again.
But that's a kid you're talking about.
Dude, you can't. So here's the thing. You got to balance the, hey, we're going to develop young guys with the, hey, we still need to make the playoffs. So if you trade Favors and you trade Bogey and you trade Clarkson, what are you left with? I mean, Quinn's not going to be happy about that. I mean, you better bring back something. You can't just have Don, Rudy, and Elijah Hughes. That's not going to work, dude, at all.
No. James Knight says, Jingles is the same speed he was 7 seasons ago, and not sure you watch the Spurs enough, Jake, because Pop draws up 99% of the plays for DeMar.
Okay, did I say that he didn't do that?
No, what I'm saying is he doesn't do that. What I'm telling you is, I hate the Spurs. So, unfortunately, I see far too much of the Spurs. The Spurs are bad because the supporting cast is not good. Like, Patty Mills was a nice player. Patty Mills is not a guy you can lean on now. And if you look at the roster build of the San Antonio Spurs, and I know that, again, James Knight is an Australian guy. I look at the build of the Spurs, and what I'm telling you is that this team, they just have a bunch of dudes. Like, Murray's a perfect example, right? Like, you're in the wrong place most of the time if you're Dejounte Murray. You're just like, you're out of, because you don't have a place. Like, on that roster, ask yourself this question. Like, who's the go-to number one unequivocal guy on the San Antonio Spurs?
Well, it's DeMar for sure. I mean, DeMar is the guy, but at the
which
same
is a problem.
But at the same time, like my point with DeMar is that he's never been, mentality-wise, he's never been like, hey, this is my team. I'm going to take over this team. Like, he's never been on that level of player. DeMar is a guy that can score the basketball at a very efficient rate and is a lethal mid-range player. Yes, they draw a lot of plays up for him, but I think you're missing my point here. In terms of the Lakers, signing DeMar, doesn't mean that you're going to have issues in terms of roles on the Lakers. What it means is that now, instead of Kyle Kuzma being on the floor trying to score, now you've got DeMar DeRozan, who's a veteran and knows how to get to his spot, and knows how to get you a reliable bucket. And I think that is why DeMar is attractive. Now, I still maintain that it's cool to have all these pieces. If you don't have a point guard to get things organized, you're not going to be in a good spot, which is why I think Kyle Lowry and Chris Paul need to be the priority over DeMar DeRozan. And, that has to be what they get first.
Well, and I think the other my point on the Spurs was you were paying Patty Mills $20 million. You're never going to win in that setup, right? And if you look at their guys, think about the guys that really contributed on this team: DeMar DeRozan, Rudy Gay, again, Patty Mills, I guess to a far lesser extent, Marco Bellinelli. You don't have a talented group of guys that all fit together and do a job in San Antonio. So we can all talk about, Greg Popovich has all of a sudden forgotten how to coach. Well, it's not that he forgot how to coach; he just doesn't have a lot of talent.
Yeah.
That fits together well. And so that's why, DeJounte Murray is a guy that is incredibly important. Derek White's incredibly important to them. Those are going to be their priorities. But as far as DeMar DeRozan as a Laker, he's a perfect fit. He gives you everything that you need, but you're going to have to go out and find a guy that can shoot a three consistently for you. You need somebody in that Ray Allen role. I continue to say that's what the Lakers are missing right now.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see, where they end up. Ace says, again, I just wonder how much basketball you guys watch. DeMar DeRozan hasn't been an ace. Get it, Ace?
Right.
Hasn't been an ace for several years. Okay. So, and now you're... Go ahead and pull up his numbers. This is what I don't understand. What do you need DeMar DeRozan to be an ace?
You need him to be, an ace in the
Which
NBA?
I would assume is a number
what
one.
Is an ace? Yeah, does that mean a number one? A number one option is 25 to 30 a night with 10 boards. That's
you don't need him to be that, right?
No, not on the Lakers, no.
The guy shoots, and this is what I don't understand. The guy shoots 50% from the floor, 22 points a game, and he rebounds well. He makes 88% of his free throws. He gives you 5 boards a game, 7 dimes a game, a steal.
That's what I'm saying. His numbers tell you. I never said. I don't know where we're getting confused on DeMar DeRozan here. First James is he hasn't been a number one option in 7 years. And then Ace is he hasn't been an ace, making a joke about it, in a long time. I never said this guy was a number one option. What I said is that he fits in great as a 2 or a 3 option.
Well, it's because you said that he was going to go to L.A., DeRozan was going to go to L.A. and replace Kobe.
Yeah, I clearly said that. Yeah,
and he's better than Jordan.
Was word for word what I said.
And you said he was Magic Johnson.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. I think exactly what we said is he doesn't have to be a superstar. He needs to be him. You know what I'm saying? Nathan Johnson Vlog says if they get DeRozan, Lowry, LeBron, Kevin Love on the same team, it'll be like the 2018 Eastern Conference All-Star team. Yeah. Exactly right. Right? Kevin Love is an interesting guy to me. Has anybody ever gotten paid and just disappeared like that before?
Yeah, that's what happens when you go to Cleveland once LeBron leaves.
Oh my God. Yeah, Tanner Plummer says, quote, you guys don't watch basketball, end quote. Here we go.
Here we go. It's the same thing that we get all the time. Oh, do you guys even watch the Jazz? Okay, right. Because when was the last time that we got the Jazz super wrong or we got an NBA thing super wrong?
Yeah.
When was the last time that happened? It doesn't happen very often because we do watch a lot of basketball all the time.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Lakers do. I think the Lakers, as usual, will set the trend in the West.
Yeah.
They have a tradable piece in Kyle Kuzma. They're offering KCP as an attachment to that deal, and I think there's a lot of upside for that. I think the two teams that have the most chance to retool quickly are the Lakers and the Suns, just because of the pieces that are moving there. And I don't know what happens to Chris Paul. I really don't. I think that is – I don't know why that move or that particular guy fascinates me as much as he does. But the Chris Paul situation, man, if you had to guess right now, does he pick up or decline his player option?
He declines the player option and goes and plays for the Lakers.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I don't know.
He doesn't have time.
Kyle Lowry or Chris Paul?
I
think I'd rather have Kyle Lowry.
Probably, yeah. More durable.
I mean,
well,
if I have to pick between one of the two.
But historically, he's been pretty durable.
Yeah, but this was a teardown season for Toronto. I mean, it's not like he was trying to play everything.
And that's been well documented that he could have come back, but didn't.
Should the Jazz go after Siakam, Rivers, Hero? Says John Mulvaney. I don't think so. I mean, Austin Rivers is a great backup point guard. And where they are cap wise, I don't know how you would even go and get Siakam or Hero.
Yeah,
like I don't even know how that makes how you actually.
That's the problem.
How do you go
dude.
and like execute that deal?
You don't have flexibility. You can't. That's the thing. Like I wish we could sit here and have a conversation about. Oh yeah, they've got about $20 million in cap space. You can make some things happen. Like you've got some options, but they don't have that, and that's the really unfortunate part. Like I feel like there's a lot of opportunity this offseason to get some guys, and they're not. Again, I'm not trying to hate on the Jazz, but they're just not in a position to go and do it. So that's why earlier when you were like, hey, you would think you've got this new owner and there's a new era. I can't definitively say that, dude. Like we're hearing rumors about, they're shopping this guy and shopping that guy, and they're having conversations. Well, when's the last time? Let me put it this way. What are the odds that we actually believe that they're going to do something? Because they've never done that in the past. They've never made the big trade in the past. And I just feel like at the end of the day, Ryan Smith has to prove that he really is about winning a championship. Every owner, seriously, think about it. Every owner, when they buy a team, right, says, "Oh, well, I bought this team because I was a fan growing up, and I'm going to bring a championship here, and everything's going to be awesome." But then what happens?
Yeah,
nothing. Nothing happens. The culture remains the same. Everything's the same. Ryan Smith continues to be a billionaire. Everything's fine.
Ryan Smith continues to be a billionaire.
It's fine.
I'm jaded.
Yeah, dude. Like, at the end of the day, Jazz fans deserve a championship. They deserve it. They've been suffering for how long? We're still having conversations, once in a while about Michael getting his. We're still talking about that. That tells you where this organization is at.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I look at the draft is in, what is the draft, Thursday? I mean, you're looking at a situation where you don't have, I don't know, is this your front office? I mean, I would think it is. Maybe that's why you haven't made a move, is you're focused on the draft. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you're not going to get a whole hell of a lot of value at pick 30. I mean, it is.
And maybe that's the other question, too. What about a conversation about developing players? Because they're not exactly great at that either. They haven't.
Well, they haven't been. No.
Yeah, I mean, and this is really what's made the difference for the Suns and put them in the position that they're in. They've developed those lottery picks. So when they were bad and they got all these guys, they turned them into something. So again, to go back to the Elijah Hughes thing, you've got to develop guys like that so that you don't have to constantly pay every single slot a high contract.
Yeah, and I really think you're going to get a look at Mike Conley with who the Jazz take at that 30th pick. I mean,
seriously, yeah, that would be a good indicator for sure.
I mean, I still maintain that Aaron Henry's my guy, but I look at what you have. I mean, if you look at the guys under contract right now, Oni, Thomas, Don, Elijah Hughes, and Jordan Clarkson, those are the guards you have under contract right now.
Yeah.
And there's not a point guard in that group, because if Donovan Mitchell's being asked to be a point guard, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
It's a Devin Booker situation from 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And obviously, Trent Forrest is restricted, so he's probably coming back. But I look at the draft pick they make Thursday. I think is going to tell you a lot about.
And this is what I mean. It's Thursday.
Yeah.
Like, so wait, we've gone through the whole summer already.
Yep.
It's been, what has it been? 5 weeks now since you got eliminated, right? 5 weeks after? Nothing. All quiet on the Western Front. No news, no notes, no nothing.
I'm telling you, Aaron Henry's the guy they should take. That's just my opinion. I think he slots nicely. He can play probably 3 positions. Mm-hmm. He's probably naturally a small forward, 6'6" guy. 215 pounds, good size.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. The draft is Thursday.
Bro, the draft is Thursday, and you haven't announced anything.
NBA free agency opens a week from now. Like, what are you talking about?
And this is what I mean. I'm not trying to make it sound, like we should be panicking, but
man.
But I would think, and this is just logically speaking, maybe they're going to handle it differently and a bit unorthodox, right? But I would have thought that they would have brought someone on already if they were going to do it.
Yeah, they've been remarkably quiet. Remarkably quiet.
Which I guess, to your point, does signal that, yeah, we're not going to bring anybody else on, and we're focused on the draft. And if that's the case, then that's the route they're choosing to go.
And I'm happy with that. I can handle that fine.
And I think I do agree with you also that if that's the strategy they're going with, that tells me that they're not going to be looking to re-sign Mike Conley.
But what this also tells me is Dwayne Wade's going to play a central figure this summer.
Well,
because he has to.
Yeah, he better.
He has to. And so whether that's recruiting or
everything,
put
him in the room with somebody. That's his job.
I still think your priority should be getting athletic wings.
Yeah.
And I just will. Yeah. Again, Aaron Henry's my guy.
Yeah.
Aaron Henry's my guy. That's all I'll say. Get prioritized wings.
Okay. What else we got in the comments here? What else we got?
Okay. I was going to move on to the NFL, but fine. You want to run the show? You run the show.
Yeah. What else we got?
Siakam to Utah. That's awesome. Nathan Jennings vlog says, to quote a very fantastic NFL coach, the Utah Jazz are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. Rip Dennis Green. Don Patry. I hope I'm not getting that. I'm definitely getting that.
Who the f*** is that guy?
Yeah, I'm getting that wrong. Says, I think the Jazz should go for a starting power forward. Well, I mean, a starting power forward ain't coming your way at the 30th pick in the NBA draft.
Yeah.
So I would think that they've got a lot more work to do on that. Red Hart Norvis, good morning to you, my friend. He says they should offer Jeff Bezos ownership of the Jazz, luxury tax problems solved. No, he just spent all his money going to space. And can we please stop with that? Can we? No, I'm not. If one more person says, well, there's people starving all over the earth and this asshole's going to space. Okay, so I'm sorry. He's a billionaire on a company he built. The guy can do what he wants with his money.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Conley. Red Art Norvis says they should offer Jeff Bezos ownership of the Jazz.
Yeah.
Luxury tax problem solved. Can keep Conley with his millions. Get Siakam and Lowry. Heck, get all the free agents. Well, it is Jeff Bezos. And then as part of their contract, you can fly them all to space when they lose again.
Yeah.
Don Patry.
Okay.
Again. Maybe someone like Sabonis would be a great fit. Arvydas Sabonis, is that? Because that's the only Sabonis that's available. Emmanuel Quai, Quaiah. Qui?
Who the fuck are you?
Why is the Jazz so quiet? If they want to win a championship, they need to make some moves. Joris Twiza, DM and JC need to learn how to pass so that no worries in the point guard position. That would help. Jeremy Bolton says, Jazz don't need to make moves, just make moves. Just to make moves. You got to be smart. Yeah, and I think you should have hired somebody else in your front office if you were going to. And they're not. If they don't, hey, I'm good with that. That again, I just think that means Dwayne Wade's influence grows.
Yeah.
That's all that means.
Yep.
Because they don't have enough ducks in the row to, get the job done at this moment. Is what I would say. All right, make sure you hit subscribe because this here Xbox Series S will be given away, I think, in the next 2 days, I would guess. We pick up about 10 subscribers a day on average. And I think we're somewhere around 1480.
We're skyrocketing to 1,500.
Exploding in your face. People
are misinterpreting what I'm saying.
Yeah, 1480. We are at 1480 right now. Thank you, Stephen A.
1480, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So 20 more.
20 to go. Tag us on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok, The Monty Show, MONTY The Monty Show, and you can find Jake at SLC Supercars. The Green Bay Packers report tomorrow in full.
Right.
In totality.
Right.
Will Aaron Rodgers be there?
No.
I think he will.
You really think he will?
Yeah, because why wouldn't he? Over the weekend, he and Davante Adams, who I think is the best receiver in the National Football League.
Uh-huh. How did that happen, by the way?
What?
How did we go from Julio and
Julio doesn't
DeAndre
play.
Hopkins and,
Julio doesn't play.
Yeah, well, when he does play, he can't get the football. So, which is it? They wouldn't feed him or he doesn't play?
Well, now he's on the Titans, so we'll find out. I look at Davante Adams. I think it's really close. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is a great wide receiver.
Yeah.
I just think Davante Adams is younger and he's more dynamic.
Yeah.
And he plays with a really good quarterback. And I think that the Green Bay Packers should have been tortured and terrified by the picture that Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams put out over the weekend, which was of The Last Dance, the famous Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen picture, which essentially says, hey, we're walking away.
This is a code kind of board.
This is it. We're going to play this season because I think Aaron knows he's stuck. We're going to play this season, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what you're going to get this year. And I think if I'm the Green Bay Packers, I'm realizing I made a huge mistake by not trading Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
And, regardless of what you think of Aaron Rodgers, the guy's got real value. And I think you could have gotten between 2 and 3 number ones for him. And I think you made a huge mistake not trading him.
Yeah, I mean, this is the classic, this organization or franchise didn't trade their best player because they were too damn stubborn. And at the end of the day, the joke's going to be on them because either way, now what does this do for Aaron Rodgers this year? He's got nothing to lose. What has he got to lose? He's just playing out the string here in Green Bay. I mean, he's not going to be concerned with, oh my God, did we win a championship this year? My guess is knowing Aaron Rodgers a little bit based on his prior behaviors in the league over his career, this guy's not sitting here saying, oh yeah, this is the last run as a Green Bay Packer. I got to give it my all to try to win a championship. I highly doubt that that's what he's saying. He's much more the guy who's like, oh yeah, this is my last year. We're just going to play the string out here, and then, we'll get to a new situation, and then, we'll really lock back in again.
By the way, I would just like to say for all the Green Bay Packer fans, you dirty SOBs that are like, oh, well, we don't have an owner because I own the team. I have stock. Let's drink brats and MGD.
Here's what's going to happen, Tonto.
Wouldn't it be nice to have an owner right now who could be like, hey, Aaron, you know what? You're our priority. You're here. Oh, but we have a shareholders meeting, and that means that Aaron Rodgers is still going to leave after this year.
That's quite enough. We get it.
Aaron Rodgers cares about it. Oh, shareholders meeting. Man, I better get back together with Olivia Munn. The shareholders might be upset. Like, are you serious?
No.
Are you serious right now?
Nah.
At least as a Chicago Bears fan, I can tell you the McCaskies are terrible at owning football teams. By the way, who do you blame in Green Bay? Oh, well, Murphy and your mom. And please.
Luca's mom?
Please. Luca's mom would be a better owner. We're the Green Bay Packers. Who cares? Who cares? Like, who cares? Like, you should have won a hell of a lot more. But you don't have an owner that holds anybody accountable. But the fans.
Scottie Miller got your ass.
The fans hold us accountable. Oh, yeah, it's worked out well. Pricks. Anyways.
No, I guess not.
I'm kidding. I'm just being a jerk. I'm having fun with Packers and Bears and, By the way.
Yeah.
And note that I'm saying this on July 26th. I'm telling you the Lions are going to be very good. The Detroit Lions should be on par or better than the Green Bay Packers, depending on what Sharon Rodgers shows up. You know what I'm saying?
Sharon Rodgers.
Yeah, Sharon. Aaron, Karen,
right.
Marin. Anyway.
Okay.
Depending on which number 12 shows up for the Packers, Detroit Lions are going to be very good. That's a good offensive line. Now, the problem is you also got Jared Goff, but
yeah,
we'll cross that bridge when we start losing Super Bowls.
It's prove it time for him.
Yeah.
He's got to prove that he's legit.
Bears are going to suck. The Vikings.
No, it's Kirk Cousins.
They'll be okay. They're not going to be great. They're going to be okay.
They're going to play in that beautiful-ass stadium and continue to be mediocre, and everybody's going to say, when is this or that going to happen? We all know what the Vikings are.
The Lions are good. By the way, wait, I'll bitch about working out in a minute. Houston, Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
This situation, I don't know what you do here. Deshaun Watson reported because if he hadn't reported, the new CBA means that Deshaun Watson would be paying the Houston Texans $50,000 a day.
Jesus.
And he's not allowed to recoup that money. So you can't waive it, Nothing. So he reported, and he basically said, F the Texans. I'm only here so I don't get fined. And now the Texans are like, oh, yeah, we'll trade him for like 3 number ones. Like, do the Houston Texans realize they have no leverage here?
Why is it so hard to understand when you got to trade your quarterback?
You know,
why is that so difficult?
Why is it so hard to be competent with your quarterback? That's it. In the NFL, this is what I don't understand. I'm a Chicago Bears fan. We ain't never had no quarterback. Like,
yeah, but Maserati Mitch and stuff. Oh, wait, he's done too.
Do you understand that the Chicago Bears have never, not one time, the Chicago MFing Bears have not one time had the best quarterback in the NFL?
It's my quarterback.
Never. Not once. Bob Avellini, you prick.
Who?
Right? I mean, so I know about crappy quarterbacks.
Yeah.
How do the Packers screw this up? How do the Jets screw this up? How do the Giants screw this up? How do the Texans screw this up? How did the Dolphins take Tua Tagovailoa and think he was going to stay healthy and be a good quarterback in the NFL? By the way, last lefty that was all-pro even. 8th team all-pro, last lefty quarterback. Right? Like, I don't understand how you continue to screw this up.
Don't get it.
I don't. Like, and then you look at Tom Brady. How did the New England Patriots screw up Tom Brady? Right? How did and I this is what I don't understand. Like, how do you have a broken relationship with your quarterback? How did the San Diego Whales vaginas screw up Drew Brees? How? How? Like, I don't understand that.
I don't know either.
And it's rampant. How did the Detroit Lions know? Like, how Russell Wilson hates the Seahawks? How?
Yeah, don't know.
How? Like, I don't know. Are the Arizona Cardinals going to win the NFC West?
No, because Chandler Jones wants to trade. So, he wants out.
He does.
I think that there's a lot of talent out there.
They were pretty good without him last year.
Yeah, I mean, they were pretty good, but I don't know that they're. I don't think that the Seahawks are going to be better. I feel like, and I think that the Cardinals are very much prone to losing that game that they shouldn't lose, and we see this all the time. And I think that this is there's no question. This is a huge year for Kyler Murray. This is a year where you're starting to get away from, hey, you're a young guy. Now you're turning into, hey, you've been here a minute. Now it's time to start kind of, doing what you do and taking us places. And I think for good old Cliffy there on the sideline, I think he's got to have a good year. I think he's got to be aggressive with the play calling. And they've shown that they are always better when they're pushing the ball down the field. So, we'll see.
So is Chandler Jones justified? In the story about Chandler Jones, for those of you who don't know, he wants a new contract. He's got this year, and then he's a free agent. And he's going to make like $15 million this year, 15 and a half or whatever it is. You paid J.J. Watt $28 million.
Yeah.
And you made DeAndre Hopkins the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL with 3 years left on his existing deal. And you haven't even gone to Chandler Jones and offered an extension.
Which is why he's upset.
Yes. So is that the right thing to do when he ruptured his bicep and missed most of last season?
Yeah, I mean, he did miss most of last season, but the numbers are still there. He's still – it's not in question that he's one of the best pass rushers in the league.
But the other guy that is amazing to me is how do you pay Budda Baker the largest contract in the history of safeties? That you realize they gave him one of the biggest extensions in the history of the position.
Yeah, I do. And what that kind of a contract does, again, it's so funny. We were just talking about the Jazz, but giving guys like Budda Baker huge contracts like that sets you up, to really struggle financially down the road. And you better, again, when you're going to sign guys to that large of a deal at that specific position, I mean, you got to win now. I mean, that's the mode that they're in. And so,
was J.J. Watt a good investment?
Remains to be seen. Is he on the field? I mean, again, when he's on the field, he's dominant. But at the end of the day, you have this division where the other teams in the division are loaded with defensive talent. So I think that was kind of their mindset, that they wanted to be that. But I still maintain The offensive line continues to be a soft spot on this team. You know, you sign this great quarterback in Kyler. I think we could all agree that he's been a bright spot for them.
Yeah.
He's really worked out. And at the end of the day, what could he be if you actually invested in offensive line talent?
It's an interesting question. It is. We'll see. There's a lot of headlines are going to be made today and tomorrow in the NFL. Does Chandler Jones report? Does he play out the string? Rumors yesterday were the New York Giants were all over Chandler Jones trying to get that deal done.
No doubt.
Do they try to trade him? There's a lot of storylines around these teams. Like Drunky the Clown strikes again, Gabe says.
Yep.
Questionable decisions. Steve Keim, the general manager of the Arizona Cardinals.
Who was 6 beers too deep in his Ford Raptor one night, which is where that reference comes from.
Wow.
I'm not letting him off the hook for that, ever.
Okay.
Ever.
Nathan,
that's cute. I remember when I had my first beer.
Yep. Nathan Johnson Vlog says defense wins championships in the NFL unless you have Tom Brady. Well, by the way, does everybody realize that Tom Brady jugs machine video is fake?
Okay.
Did you see the video?
Yes.
He's guys.
Bro, come on. It's real. It looks amazing.
Come on. Food or politics?
Food.
All right, so a new poll came out.
Okay, warning before you read the poll. This is the section of the show where people tend to get pissed off. So if you're not here for the fire takes and all the upset comments, now would be a really good time to leave, okay?
Yeah, this is the driftwood portion of the show. We've renamed it.
I personally would like an apology.
I miss driftwood. Unless I hope he's here. I don't think he is. In other words, we're going to talk politics for 3 minutes. Well, probably more than that. Axios released a poll, net favorability of leading Republicans among likely Republican voters.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So my former party, the Republican Party.
When did you leave the Republican Party?
Not soon enough. Apparently. When Donald Trump got, nope. Anyway, my point is, look, listen. They polled Republicans who are likely to vote for president in 2024, and they asked them a very simple question. Which of these candidates would you vote for president?
I don't give a baker's fuck.
Should we start with the last or the
let's
first?
start with the last. The low guys first. Low guys first.
The worst one, minus 43%. So 43%.
How do you get minus in a poll? I'm still trying to understand this.
Liz Cheney, the congresswoman from Wyoming, because she is seen as a conservative abandoner and has leaned more liberal, minus 43%. Plus 2%. So 2% said they would vote for chicken neck Mitch McConnell. Plus 8%. This is where the shit gets deep. This is where Crazy Town shows up. 8% of Republican likely voters said they'd vote for Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Infowars.com.
8%.
Infowars.com.
I'd like to know which Republican Party those 8% of the people are in. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, then it just gets worse because 17% of likely Republican voters said that in 2024 they would vote for President Matt Gaetz. Are you serious?
Bruh. What?
That downstairs kitty cat is not yours to have, okay?
No. Anyway, no. 24% of likely Republican voters said that if House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy were on the ballot, he'd get their vote for president. And now
You're misinterpreting what I'm saying.
Here's where we get crazy. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis got 54% of the vote. Ron DeSantis.
Why wasn't Trump on there? Not. Why wasn't Dad on there?
I don't know. Thank you for selling the lead.
I'm not selling the lead. I'm asking why the country's former president wasn't on there.
Of all likely Republican voters, Donald Trump Jr. is leading at 55%. I said 55% of
You're
likely
so fucked.
Republican voters selected Don Jr. as their leading presidential candidate for 2024.
Did.
Donald Trump Jr.
Bro, our country's dead. Like, it's over.
Who's voting for Donald Trump Jr. to be president? Who? Point them out. Because I'd like to go kick their ass.
I think that's HIPAA.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You can't. Hey, who you voting for president? No,
that's
man.
HIPAA.
That's HIPAA. That's HIPAA, man. I can't. No, man.
It's not the best situation, and we all know that.
You know, can't tell you who I'm voting for president, man. That's HIPAA.
I think that's HIPAA.
Amazing. I just can't believe it. Anthony McCoy says, so depressing, indeed. eBay, the sofa surfer, says Biden is totally lost, and Kamala has no business in government except she got that AD job due to her affair with the married San Francisco mayor, which has been completely debunked. Why is it that any woman of influence slept her way to the top?
Who knows?
And why is it that we champion dudes who actually we know slept their way to the top? But women are whores and guys are heroes.
Just so you can go to Pound Town.
Somebody explain that to me. You know.
Yeah.
I didn't. You know. I don't.
It's silly.
Don Jr.
Bro, it's bad. It's really, really bad.
The Republican Party is Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, Ron DeSantis, and Don Jr.
And the Democrats are so pathetic that they can't even beat that. Help me.
We don't have a candidate.
Help me.
Like, there is not who's the candidate that stands up and you're like, yeah, I'd vote for that guy. Like, I can't think of one. Democrat, Republican, other. Like,
Green Party.
I can't think of one right now. We so badly need to, get rid of all these dudes and just start over. Like, I don't know what you do here. I really, honestly, truly have no idea. Like, we can't agree on COVID, masks, vaccines. Like, the people. What's amazing to me, you guys know Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She was a former press secretary for Donald Trump.
Yeah, we remember.
Daughter of Mike Huckabee. She is definitely her father's daughter.
This was before the McEnany days.
Yes.
Yeah.
She is a staunch, hardcore conservative. Like, as conservative goes. She basically got outed as being somebody who got a vaccine. And she took so much heat for getting a vaccine that she had to write an op-ed explaining why she got a vaccine. Isn't that HIPAA? Like,
that's HIPAA?
Yeah, are you serious with this? We can, as a country, agree on vaccines, so we are going to vote for Matt Gaetz, who's an accused child sex trafficker.
That downstairs kitty cat is not yours to have, okay?
That's what?
What?
That's what we're talking about. Like, what are we doing? I have no idea what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing.
It's bad. It's really, really bad.
I mean, I'm
telling you, it's. I don't know, man. I think the Don Jr. angle is so there because I'm just assuming. I don't know this to be fact, but my assumption would be that Republicans are like, oh, Don Jr.'s in office, he's just going to be a puppet for Donnie, for DJT.
Yeah, I don't know what you do. Like even in the 2024 Democrats that are potential,
it's terrible, dude.
Gavin Newsom, nah.
No.
Amy Klobuchar, no. Joe Kennedy, no. Kamala Harris, hell no.
No.
Andrew Cuomo, no. Pete Buttigieg,
no. He'll get run, but no.
No. Like Oprah Winfrey,
bro.
Andrew Yang,
no.
Like this is who the Democrat. Oh, the Republicans are putting up Don Jr. Well, how can we, as a country, complain? Like, there's no party to hang on to in this country.
Nothing.
I hope people realize that. You're talking about Donald Trump Jr. and Matt Gaetz.
Don't you know who I am?
I give up.
It's terrible. It's embarrassing, honestly.
Like, how do we and I'm being serious. And this is why when people are like, oh, you're a goddamn liberal. Well, okay. I can't be a Republican. I can't be a Democrat. So now I'm a liberal.
What you want me to say to that?
Like, okay, you want to paint me in that picture, that's up to you. But what I'm telling you is I don't think there is anywhere as Americans for us to go.
No, there's not.
I don't know what you do. I don't know who you vote for. Because there's not a candidate that I've seen that I support and be like, oh, yeah, I could vote for Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey?
And that's why Donald Trump not getting reelected is so fascinating, because
God almighty.
I truly believe if he just simply would have chilled out and not, shot himself in the foot, he would have got reelected.
Yeah. Yeah, Justin Solis is probably right. He says, my guess is Ron DeSantis wins the primary. At least he's a governor. Like, what is Don Jr.?
Yeah, at least with DeSantis, he's got experience.
Yeah, help me understand Donald Trump Jr.
I'm telling you, it's a puppet play. Get Trump Jr. into the office, and then Donnie will actually be the president. I'm telling you, that's what that is.
But they did the face switch surgery, and so Donald Trump is still president.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
Right? No?
I think that's HIPAA.
We can't talk about face surgery. I think that might actually be HIPAA, All right, can we talk about food now before we get out of here?
Yes, dude.
Traeger or breakfast first?
Breakfast first, I guess.
All right, so the Traeger this weekend did not make breakfast,
Uh-huh.
but today is National Bagel Day.
Yeah.
And you are just bagel addicted.
I love
you would eat bagels every day.
All day. Bagel and cream cheese.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Best kind of bagel.
Oh, there's no doubt it's a cheddar bagel.
No,
For
shut
sure.
up. Really? Gee, Gesundheit. Bless you, sir.
Thank you.
Blueberry bagels.
Yeah, blueberries a close second. You're right.
But blueberry donuts.
Blueberry donuts are incredible, dude.
Dude, Dunford blueberry donuts, forget it. Forget it.
Yeah, see, so to me, the question with bagels is some people like them untoasted. I'm definitely a toasted bagel
you got to
guy.
toast them.
Got to toast it. And then the amount of cream cheese really is what kind of separates good from great.
I think the question with bagels is were they sold out of donuts?
Mm-hmm. So you're saying donuts are better?
Is this even a discussion?
I don't know. Let's ask.
Donuts are way better.
Donuts are bagels.
Oh, stop. Nobody's taking bagels over donuts.
You sure?
Yes. Okay, go ahead and answer that question if you're in the YouTube comments.
I'm assuming donuts would win, but
let
let's
me
see.
let me go ahead and get the block button ready. Do you prefer do you prefer donuts or bagels? I think I'm a donut guy, but I do like bagels. I love fruit-flavored cream cheese.
Yeah.
Like apple.
Strawberry.
Oh, man. Berry, mixed berry.
Yeah. Bomb.
Good night. Go-to breakfast.
Breakfast burrito, for sure. No doubt about it.
Dude, you have got to expand.
Okay, you always say that about my food choices. Yet
Because,
at the end of the day,
what do you want for lunch? A burrito. What do you want for dinner?
At
a burrito.
the end of the day, there's no getting
Jake,
away from
what do
the
you want
fact
for
that
breakfast?
that it's reliable.
What do you want for
it's
breakfast?
bomb.
I'll have a burrito for breakfast.
We're talking about going back to Huntington before the year's over.
What kind of burrito do you
I'm
want?
going hot off the grill
burrito?
when I go back to Huntington. I want my burrito.
Hey, man, what kind of burrito you want? Chicken? Hey, what do you want for lunch? A chicken burrito? Okay, we had that for breakfast. Yeah, I know. Okay, well, what do you want for dinner? A chicken burrito. We had that for breakfast.
That's out of the window.
Yeah, I know. I'll have a chicken burrito. Hey, it's Christmas. What kind of meal you want? A chicken burrito.
That's every day.
Like every day for every meal, you would have a chicken burrito.
I haven't had one in a long time.
Well, I wouldn't have a chicken burrito for breakfast. I'd have a bagel.
Duh.
Not a donut, fat ass.
Obviously.
Like, okay, your go-to breakfast is a breakfast burrito.
Yeah, dude.
No, man.
Bro, it's hard to beat a great breakfast burrito.
No, but it's hard to beat eggs and toast.
No.
It's good for you. It's light.
I eat that every day. That's not special. That's not special. There's
Okay, well, we didn't say special. I said
like
go-to breakfast.
Eggs and toast might be the most basic-ass thing you could eat, yet because I eat that every single day for breakfast.
And why? Because it's good.
Okay,
right?
great. But
okay,
it's not
so
better
what's your
than,
special breakfast?
It's not better than 3 eggs scrambled with some bacon and some avocado and some cheese and some pico wrapped in a warm tortilla. It's not better than that.
Yeah, Giggity says donuts all day.
Okay. And we don't even disagree on this, by the way. I am a big bagel guy, but it's hard to beat a great donut.
Nobody agrees with you. Nobody agrees with you.
On what?
eBay the Sofa Surfer says, I like food. James Knight says, donuts first, then daylight. Tanner Plummer says, is this a trick question? It's donuts. Of course it is. eBay the Sofa Surfer says bagels over donuts because better for you, but yeah, donuts taste better. Duh. We're not talking about what's better for you. Block Rush says Trump 2024. Right, but is that bagels? No, that'd be donuts. He's not well.
In a jail cell or not?
Okay, wow. No comment. Fat Jesus says bagels all day except for Einstein's. They're chewy crap. I like Einstein's bagels. Tanner Plummer says eggs and toast are good for you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Dave's Killer Bread, seeded Killer Bread.
Yeah, you got to get the right kind of bread.
Yeah, you can't have white bread. Don't ever eat white bread. It's terrible.
Wonder Bread's not good for you?
Dude, white bread or wheat bread that is not really wheat is not good for you. It's not. Block Rush says the Republican Party is Donald Trump. Yes, it is, which is not good. So if I said, what would your dream breakfast be? Like mine would be French toast and donuts.
Yeah, I love...
with extra syrup.
Dream breakfast is 3 pancakes with some bananas probably and some syrup. And I really am a sucker for shredded potatoes, eggs, peppers, mushrooms, cheese, and a little bit of gravy on top.
Yes, great.
And then some sourdough toast. Boom.
Yes! Which is why we did what we did yesterday. So we've started the summer shred.
I want it.
Here on the Monty Show.
Yeah.
Hopefully COVID doesn't derail snowboarding. But we're going to Hawaii for Thanksgiving this year. And we are going to snowboard this year, which is really the only reason we live in Utah. And so yesterday we did a bunch of squats and a bunch of legs. And we made wings on the Traeger.
Hell yeah.
To supplement our squatting and legs.
Yeah.
I am so sore this morning. Like I am sitting here uncomfortable. My inner thighs will choke you out. Like my thighs, my quads are just roasted.
So how long has it been since we squatted, do you think?
5 years?
Yeah.
No, I'm not kidding. It's probably been 5 years.
Yeah.
Since we stood in a squat.
Hello.
Since we stood in a squat rack, it's probably been 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so yesterday, we did 3 full sets, incrementally increased the weight, and I almost died. Like that was hard work. And this morning, like yesterday when I first got home after working out, like I had trouble walking downstairs. My legs were like, "Hey, fat ass, what are we doing?"
Jelly legs happening.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And so, like as the day went on, like by the time it was 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and I was getting ready to go to bed, like I was sore.
Yeah.
And then because I'd had so much water and so much liquid yesterday, nighttime pee guy was just sitting on my chest all night long. Like I peed 3 times in the middle of the night.
Dude. Now were these like long adventures?
Oh, they were sojourns. They were like pilgrimages of piss. It was like it was amazing.
Oh.
The velocity, and viscosity
to the moon, baby.
Of the pee. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I must retain just thousands of gallons of water.
Mm-hmm.
It's all water weight, bro. What do you mean? I cannot believe that I had that much liquid in my body.
Yeah.
Like just
that's crazy.
Unloading. And then, of course, I woke up this morning, got in the shower, and peed again. But anyway, the point is...
How the fuck else would you do this job?
Right? Now I'm sitting here this morning, and my thighs are just like... My glutes are like...
Screaming, dude.
And we're supposed to do hamstring extensions today. Good luck with that. Like, I don't know how we're going to do that.
I don't know.
Probably not going to do that. Today, we'll do shoulders, but we
got to work in... We got to at least work our legs a little bit to help with the soreness.
Dude.
Yeah. It's not good.
Dude, Block Rush says the Democratic Party is dead. If the Democrats are dead, what are the Republicans?
Yeah.
You got to work legs in every day.
Yeah.
You have to.
It's brutal.
And then there's the Traeger.
Okay. Yeah.
So Saturday, we put ribs on the Traeger.
Yeah. Bomb.
Amazing.
Bomb. Pork ribs.
Amazing. Don's Butcher Shop.
Off Redwood
Road,
Go
West
check it
Jordan.
Out. Super reliable.
Unreal.
By the way, just like to say, this rack, we actually got 2 racks of ribs, and they were pre-seasoned, already brined and everything. Amazing. Absolutely amazing service.
So good. And then yesterday, so while we were at Don's Butcher Shop in West Jordan, we also bought 3 bags of wings.
Yeah.
Now, as a flat guy, you were thrilled because as far as wings goes,
I'm not
Jake's a flat
accepting
guy.
this. I'm not accepting this.
Jake does not like drums at all.
That's not true.
He's a flat. So when you get wings, you get flats, and then you get drums. Jake will not eat drums at all. He is a flat guy.
That's not true.
When it comes to chicks and wings, he likes them flat.
That's not true.
So
If you felt these balls,
I mean, it'd be amazing. So the flats were massive. So Jake was excited. The wings were really good. So you're going to be a flat denier right now.
I'm not denying anything. I'm
Okay,
saying
so
that
you do like
made
flat.
this up.
So you do like
You
flat.
made this up like 3 years ago. This is like Donnie saying the election was stolen. We all know it's not true, but you keep saying it.
But you like flats.
No, I don't.
Okay, but
I'll eat them, but that doesn't mean I prefer them over drums.
two things that Jake consistently denies: farting and liking wings. Flats over drums. I always order all drums because that's what real men do.
To the point where we're standing in Don's and you're like, hey, dude, can you get me all drums? And he's like, no, sorry, sir. They're assorted. So, yeah. We're going to have to just go with that.
Real men eat drums, and then you eat flats. The point is, we put about 36 or so wings on the Traeger smoker yesterday, 400 degrees, with Traeger signature pellets. It was unbelievable.
And the honey barbecue seasoning.
Honey barbecue seasoning, we brined it overnight. It was amazing. They cooked in about 30 minutes. They were crispy. They were juicy. The greatest things ever.
They were moist.
And the best part about these wings is second day leftover wings.
Bomb, dude.
Forget it.
Bomb.
Forget it. I mean, it is so good.
So, but we did this because of the summer shred. So we're having the wings for dinner, basically. That's like low glycemic, as you always call it, and everything.
Yeah. So vegetables and protein. That's where I'm at right now. Okay. So now we've had a meltdown in the comments.
Oh boy, here we go.
So if they stole the primary from Bernie, what did they steal the election from Trump? Giggity says block rush equals driftwood. I would agree with that. Block rush says debate the facts, no personal jabs. You're not thinking. The CIA would let Trump be president if he was Putin's puppet. Okay, are we really going back to Donald Trump and Russia? See, this is why you can't talk to hardcore Trump supporters on this show or anywhere, because it always goes back to they stole the election, Russian, CIA, the big hoax. Stop. Like
Infowars.com.
Stop, man. Like, we'll never move on as a country if every time Donald Trump's name comes up, you ask if the CIA would let him be president. Like, stop.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Anyway.
Not moving on is what we're doing.
Not moving on.
Anyway,
we're stuck in 2020.
We're moving on. We're moving on.
We are. All right. Anyway.
So, yeah, the Traeger is amazing. Again, I know we talk about it all the time. Highly recommend.
That's where we were.
Highly recommend.
So
dude.
what's next on the Traeger? I think we have to up our vegetable game.
Yeah,
on
we
the
have
Traeger.
to figure out how to do vegetables the right way. Like, we have to figure out how... Because here's my question with the veggie portion. So let's say that... Because you can't really meal prep... You can't meal prep fresh veggies and let them sit in the fridge 4 days. They won't make it. They'll go bad. So the question really is, I mean, on the weekends, I guess we can just make veggie stuff to have with what we're eating. But during the week, I for convenience purposes, mostly, I'm a big frozen vegetable guy. It just is,
It's easier.
It's easier. You could go the salad route, but I just prefer to go frozen.
And then there's Mrs. Montu, who spent 3 hours cooking in the kitchen yesterday, prepping all of her food for the week, and it was awesome. I am more of a guy, like, we need to figure out, like, stuffed green peppers on the Traeger is amazing.
Yeah, that's not that hard. That's not that bad.
I'm
It's
telling you, sweet potatoes and russets on the Traeger smoker are amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of stuff. The cauliflower cauliflower crowns on the Traeger are amazing.
Uh-huh.
I mean, like, there's all kinds of things you can do. I don't happen to be a huge artichoke guy.
Yeah.
But, like, artichoke hearts on the Traeger are supposedly amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kebabs with green peppers, onions, and pineapple.
I think it's all about
Smoked
the prep
pineapple?
on the vegetables. It's all about the prep on the vegetables.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like pineapple's one of those that you don't have to prep too much, but like, peppers and mushrooms and, and basically, cauliflower, any of those kind of vegetables, you got to prep those a little bit.
I would agree.
You got to oil them a little bit. You got to season them. You got to do something with them. You can't just toss them on.
I agree. So what are we going to do at the gym today? It's the last week of the month, so I'm unable to walk right now or squeeze my butt together.
Yeah, I think today we have to do light legs. We got to do light legs, like just kind of we got to get some blood flowing through there to help with the soreness. And then yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling my left oblique a little bit. We did some pretty good, not heavy. We did some pretty good abs yesterday. I'm feeling that left oblique like just the body needs to recover and function. So today I think it's probably shoulders and light legs.
The thing with soreness though is you have to work through it. You can't just like not that you are. I'm just saying generally speaking, if you just sit around, it'll eat you alive. It's miserable. But if you just go to the gym, work through it, even if you just get some treadmill time, that'll really help with all that.
I agree. Tyler says it's too late, Monty. You're old. Give up. Thanks, Tyler. Appreciate that.
Yeah, really, thank you, Tyler. Yeah.
Just want to say thanks for the encouragement.
Yeah.
Right? It is what it is. We'll keep you updated on that. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. All of our workout, all of our food stuff is there. All of our side hustle stuff is there. Plodding through the side hustle, man.
It's coming soon.
What do we got?
A couple weeks?
Probably a week and a half. And it's a huge outlay of cash. We'll detail that on the show as well coming up. Make sure you follow us. 1,500 subscribers. We're giving this away, so make sure you tag us in a photo on Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok, The Monty Show. MONTY, The Monty Show. And you have to tag us both, SLC Supercars. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.